all guests on Sports Talk Mississippi, especially when we are normally. Join us on the Farm Bureau phone line. Check out favorites.com and go with the home team.
We got to sell that camera.
Farm Bureau.
We got to get that. We got to get that a sponsor. Tell Farm Bureau we're doubling the rates.
There you go. 24/7 Sports. Brandon Marcello. You may remember him from his time in Mississippi and in Alabama, the greater southeast part. He's now back in his general home stomping grounds in northwest Arkansas, but he is covering college football writ large, or at least SEC football writ large.
That sounds very professional.
That's on that's business card fodder.
Brandon is not. I've known him for years.
Absolutely not.
Hey, man, what's up?
Not much. It's SEC Media Days. Get excited.
Are you not?
I'm excited to be in front of human beings like you guys. You guys are humans, right? I like talking to people face to face.
Yeah.
This Zoom stuff is for the birds.
Yeah, you've had enough.
It's terrible.
Okay. Well, I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Are you actually excited for this college football season?
No. You know, the college football is the absolute worst, and I'll tell you now. Yeah, I'm absolutely excited. What are you
Had him going.
Wait.
I knew where you were doing.
Take me down this road because this is a unique thought.
Dude, I am pumped. I was pumped going into last year. I was like, we got to play season. Dude, I'm absolutely pumped this year. Do you have any, like a colleague of mine, Josh Pate, does a fantastic video podcast for 24/7 Sports. He calls this the Renaissance year for football.
Ooh.
And I agree,
think that means rebirth.
It's these stadiums are going to be packed. People are going to be so excited. These games are going to carry so much more significance. This is going to be an incredible year for college football. And, dude, we're going to be so spoiled after week one because of all those great games.
Yeah. And then in week two.
Yeah. Just wait. I think this is going to be an insane year. Absolutely insane.
What's the week one game that you've got circled?
Akron, Auburn. No,
Akron, he said.
I said Akron, didn't I?
The
Zipes.
Akron.
The Akron Zipes?
The Akron Zipes.
I've got 4 games I want to go to, but I can only maybe go to 3. My bosses, after hearing this, will probably go, you're not going to any of them because we're not paying that. So, listen, Alabama, Miami, that's not even the biggest game of the weekend.
No.
I want to go to Boise State, UCF on a Thursday night. That's like a good little appetizer.
Yeah.
The 2 best power or group of 5 programs. But it's obviously Georgia Clemson.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the loser of that game will still maybe be in the playoff.
That could be. They could rematch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Georgia fans might go insane if they lose by double digits to that Clemson team early in the year. Because that Clemson team, the understanding is from all of us, is that DJ Uiagalelei, I said it correctly, I think.
Well done.
That was good.
I've been practicing it in the mirror. He's going to be so much better at midpoint of the year than he is going to be in week 1 and week 2, obviously. Because they're going to be breaking in some things there. And if Clemson, beats up on Georgia, Georgia fans are going to be, beside themselves. Because this is the year for them to challenge and win the national championship.
I don't know if you know this. They have actually not won a national championship at Georgia since 1980.
Weird. Do Alabama fans remind them of that?
I think everybody reminds them of
that's
that.
right.
You might get a Mississippi State fan in there.
That's right. Now they can.
That's right.
Hey, you know what's funny is you talk about the week 1.
Mm-hmm.
The teams that play good games in week 1 play terrible games in week 2. And most of the teams that play terrible games in week 1 all play good games in week 2.
Yeah,
and so it's like the first 2 weeks of the season, you're going to get some of what you expect, but some great games. I mean, Arkansas, Texas is week 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mississippi State, NC State is week 2.
Oh, yeah.
I think Colorado, Texas A&M is week 2.
Ooh.
I mean, it's like we don't just ease into it where it's like everything is great week 1 and then it's a week of crap before it really gets good again.
That and even week 1, on the periphery, there's really good games like LSU, UCLA.
Yes.
I think UCLA.
Oh, yeah.
UCLA is going to be the surprise team in the Pac-12 this year.
I have my eye on that one.
But yeah, I mean,
Ole Miss, Louisville.
Almost Louisville.
You can tell where I live.
Yes.
Kosciuszko,
that Mississippi coming through.
The Louisville Wildcats.
Louisville.
Shout out Winston County. Is Chuck Dunlap here?
Here's the bad part about living in Mississippi.
He's right there.
Saying, yeah, there's a Louisville
Louisville.
native. Saying Lafayette.
Yeah.
I moved to Alabama, and there's a town called Lafayette.
Yeah.
And I kept saying Lafayette. And they're like, you're a moron. And I went, yeah, I know that, but sorry, I got it wrong.
but for other reasons.
Well, and it's Lafayette in Mississippi, and it's Lafayette in Indiana, and it's Lafayette in Louisiana and Alabama, apparently.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't know how to speak English.
That's why you're a writer.
That's why I'm a writer, and a bad one at that. You know, when people ask me for my job description and resumes when I'm like applying for sacking groceries after I get fired from this current job, I put in there, my previous job was I rearranged the same 25 words in stories.
Do you put the prime directive on your resume?
I don't.
You shouldn't.
That was bad.
No.
That was a bad podcast. But that's pretty much what I do. I just rearrange the same 25 words. I don't get too...
Just take out Alabama and Ohio State and
uppity.
Change it to Clemson and Georgia. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, Clemson, Georgia, Bulldogs, Tigers, Hogs.
We've tried to come up with creative ways to preview teams in the SEC. I mean, I guess that's what we're all doing kind of leading up to the season, is trying to come up with something that is unique or a different angle. As we've gone through that exercise or the various stages of that exercise, I keep coming back to Arkansas as a team that is fascinating to me. Like, I'm not sure that they're ready to take the next step yet, because I just don't think from a talent standpoint they're there. But I really liked how they played for Sam Pittman. I really like what Barry Odom did with that defense. And they're
He's the best coach on their staff.
They're a fascinating team, I think. But are they a fascinating team that's still going to go 3-9?
All right, maybe. The thing here, all right, Barry Odom, I think, is the best coach on that staff, head coach or not.
Okay.
And Odom, because of what he did last year, playing a lot of zone coverage and stuff, works perfectly nowadays in the SEC because of all the passing offenses that we see. And Ole Miss fans know that very well going against Arkansas last year, the 6 picks, and Mississippi State. That's why they were so successful. Can they keep doing that this year? Because they've got a lot of guys back on defense, and that's what's going to carry them again this year. But our team's going to adjust to that, and are they going to have that same type of success? That's going to be up to Barry Odom. I think because he's the best coach on that staff, that defense will figure out a way, and they're going to be pretty good again on defense. That offense, though, K.J. Jefferson could be good, but will he be good? I don't know. And they lost, Mike Woods to Oklahoma. He transferred. I thought he was their best receiver, and all everybody's saying is Traylon Burks, but I think Mike Woods is really – they had the two best 1-2 combo, at least on paper, going into this season. Now, Alabama, by far, by the end of the year, is going to have the best receiver corps in the country, potentially, even over Ohio State. But in the SEC, at least week one, I think Arkansas could have had the best wide receiver duo in the SEC, but that is not the case now.
If Florida is not the number 2 team in the East, who is?
I don't know. Some people might say Kentucky, but I'm not so certain about that.
I said Missouri, possibly.
I like that. I think with Connor at quarterback again, the offense got going a little bit. The defense, I mean, if they just, I want to say, I don't want to compare Mizzou to Ole Miss, but if Ole Miss's defense just plays like it should as a Division I defense, Ole Miss could challenge as an 8-win team this year. Mizzou's maybe the same way because of their defense, if they can keep it up offensively. But we'll see. I was telling some other folks here, they're like, what's the SEC team we're going to fall in love with and start saying this is the surprise pick to look at after speaking to these coaches this year? And I said, by far, it's going to be Ole Miss. Because think of it this way. We're easily persuaded as media members based off of sound bites. We just are. Lane Kiffin's going to go up there as a SEC head coach for the first time since he was at Tennessee. We didn't get to talk to him last year here. We weren't having SEC media days. And he's going to get everybody buying into Ole Miss this year. Absolutely. And that defense, if it just plays a little bit better, I think they win 8 games.
We've recorded this on Tuesday morning. It'll air later in the day. So I'm asking you this in advance before you've heard from Lane Kiffin. Do you think he's going into this with an agenda, like with what you're saying, kind of trying to win people over, or do you think he's going into this today going, you know what, I'm just going to be boring?
Oh, I hope he doesn't try to be boring. But even when he tries to be boring, he's going to be exciting because he's himself. I don't think
it'd be so much fun if he came in and kind of poked Nick Saban a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be great. I hope he does. I don't think he'll be boring. And even when he's boring, he'll say something interesting. But there's just so much
Shane Beamer finally did something to make me perk up and smile.
Kind of woke up the room finally.
The recreation of the Spurrier picture at the Coke fountain was spectacular. spectacular.
It's
like, this is good.
That's good social media.
The only problem with it was his thumbs up wasn't high enough.
Wasn't high enough. You got to do a full
pass on that.
But I love the players in the background.
As the
awesome.
father and son, that was great.
Yeah.
That was pretty good stuff. Pretty.
They got a great, by the way, the behind-the-scenes stuff. South Carolina's got an amazing social media team and video team there, and I used to work with one of the guys that runs that stuff. And so.
Were you in Starkville when Beamer was?
No.
No, you weren't there
so.
yet. Yeah,
no.
that might have been Ian still.
Yeah.
Hey, great to.
Who's that? Never heard of him.
Great to visit with you and catch up a little bit.
Absolutely, guys.
Thanks, Brandon. Brandon Marcello,
Hey, you,
24/7.